Hello everyone, and welcome to the baking video. Paul will introduce himself on the video in a moment. I'm Jack.
I'm Paul.
And we're going to be voicing over this week.
Hello everyone, welcome back to baking. Today we're going to be making double chocolate chip cookies. Get excited. But first we need to preheat the oven. So we turn it on, turn it to 170 and gas mark 3. Bob's your uncle, let's go.
So Paul's just here about to wash his hands. He's following all the appropriate hand washing techniques and he's going to show you that now. You'll see him start to wash his hands properly, and off camera he'll finish washing and dry them.
There we go. Washing the hands, bit of hot water. Job's a good one.
So that's it. Make sure you've interlocked your fingers, wrapped around all of the hand. If you need any help washing your hands, you can find guidelines online or ask someone who you work with or spend time with that might know the full hand washing procedure. Make sure you to properly wash your hands. It helps stop the spread of germs and viruses.
Just sing happy birthday while you're doing it.
Sing happy birthday. I think it's twice or 3 times, isn't it?
Twice I think it is.
Yeah, there you go. So Paul's finished. He's going to go and dry his hands now. And we're going to kick things off with the recipe.
There we go.
Double chocolate chip cookies. It's like we practiced that.
Boom.
So you got a bowl.
Get your bowl. Zero your scales. Very important. There we go.
Don't forget to do that.
There we go. Zero.
There we go.
Grab your butter.
Grab your butter indeed.
Open the butter. Grab your knife.
You can see ours is actually slightly pre-cut there.
Yeah.
Popped in. Bit extra.
More, I think.
Why not? Extra butter makes extra flavour. We've got 124.
125 on this, wasn't it?
Were we? 130.
No, 130 it was. That's
there you go. 130 on the money.
There we go. And then I think we go for our sugar.
Here we go. This is caster sugar
So in
again.
this one, yeah. So we use caster sugar and I think brown sugar as well, which is coming up later.
Cool. So once again,
start with the caster sugar.
Not the sugar you put in your coffee.
Yeah. Not that you don't put in your coffee. Don't do that. Right, zero the scales again. I think this is around 70 grams. I think it was for the caster sugar.
There you go, you've gone above 70.
It doesn't matter too much.
And a little dash for bonus. And I think you were going for 80.
It may be 80. I might
There
have
we
the
go.
calculations wrong there. It's 80.
There's a few little dashes going in.
It's definitely 80.
80 grams of sugar. Lovely. And then brown sugar.
And then we get the brown sugar.
So it's light, soft.
Yeah, in this one I actually use the dark brown sugar. It doesn't make a massive difference.
You've got 2 types of sugar on the go.
I have.
So zero your scale again.
Zero scales.
Before adding more sugar.
And then again, it's 80 grams of brown sugar. Equal parts.
You sound more confident now. Are you sure of that?
Yeah, I think it's because I watched the previous bit and it did say 80.
And you know it's equal parts. Okay.
Yeah.
So there we go.
It's equal parts of each.
82 grams is not going to make a massive difference. That's absolutely fine. We'll have those 2 extra grams in there.
Again, fine margins isn't too much. If you can get it, there's damn it, it's quite good.
So grab your spoon.
Grab your spoon, and then you just want to incorporate these together.
Get your scales out the way.
Yep, get the scales out the way. And then with the back of your spoon, if your butter's quite hard, it'll take some time to soften it. But you just have to gently work it and work it and work it until the butter softens and all the butter and sugar combines together.
So you're using the back of your spoon to press it against the side of the
Yeah.
bowl and push it into the sugar, yeah?
Yeah.
To make it combine.
Yeah. It's a bit of hard work, but if your butter's left out for a while, which is a good tip, don't take it straight out the fridge because it'll just be a nightmare.
An hour or 2 before you're going to bake,
Yeah.
try and take your butter out, put it near somewhere warm.
Again, you can use a whisk.
Okay. A power, like an electric
an
mixer.
electrical whisk, hand mixer. That'll do the job as well.
Okay.
It'll be much easier with one of them as well.
If you are going to use an electrical mixer, make sure that someone who knows how to use it or knows how to use it safely is around.
Yeah.
And also make sure you don't spray the sugar everywhere, because that's what I always do.
I think that's why I always go for the spoon, because it's not going to spray everywhere. It's quite. I just like to be, do the traditional methods. to be honest with you. I'm a bit of a traditionalist at heart. It takes quite some time and it is a bit of hard work, but again, well worth the effort.
And much easier if you let that butter soften.
Yeah, so if you leave it out overnight, it'll be perfect.
Cool.
It'll be nice and soft.
Or just somewhere warm for a couple of hours.
Yeah, I mean, I'd only taken this butter out that morning and left it for about 2 hours, so it wasn't tremendously soft.
And as many of you know, the Ark's kitchen is not that warm.
No, it's pretty cold, especially during winter time.
Anyway, we're coming close to where we want to be now.
Yeah, it's getting there. You can see it's all coming together and it's forming like a soft ball.
Most of the butter is incorporated and mixed in. And it's falling off the side of the spoon, which is a good sign.
And I think this is about what you're looking for at this point.
A smooth paste.
A smooth paste, yeah. That's basically what you want.
And some out of focus camera work from me.
Yeah, it's always good to have that in.
Okay.
I think that's about
We're
ready.
almost there. Almost there. It's exciting.
I think I was just being a bit pedantic and trying to get all the butter in.
As we said last
As
time,
I always do.
Paul does like to be a perfectionist.
Yeah. I've just realised how pedantic I am. And there we go.
Chance to reflect. There, you can see it there, all nice and smooth.
That's exactly what you're looking for.
Want all your butter mixed in.
Yeah. So it's important not to use your hands at this point because you'll just melt the butter and you don't want your butter to melt. Then you bring in the egg, give it a little spin for good luck. Crack it in. There we go. Just one medium egg for this. One medium egg. And then grab your spoon again. Oh no, I've gone for the vanilla extract. There we go. Don't forget that. A little dash of this. Approximately a teaspoon. Oh no, I did actually use a teaspoon.
You did? Yeah.
I did. I didn't do what I did in Making Club and usually just guess it.
So exactly 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Teaspoon. You don't want to use too much of this stuff. It's very powerful. It will make anything taste really vanilla-y really easily.
Yeah.
It's not too hard to find. You can find it in most supermarkets.
Closest place, Lidl.
For you, yeah. Other supermarkets are available. There we go. So we're mixing that egg in.
Mix all that in.
And once again, we're just going for, once everything looks smooth and the same. And
you don't want to overdo it. It's very important not to overdo it. So a quick little mix. Make sure the egg incorporates with the sugar and butter. And it takes literally about 10 seconds, 10 to 30 seconds. And
brisk mixing though, is what you need for 10 seconds.
I think we're just about there now. You'll see it's just about ready.
The main thing is, as long as it all looks roughly the same.
Yeah. As long as it looks like it's all mixed in.
And you could bring in a butter knife or you could bring in your finger or a teaspoon. Just get all the mix off your spoon so it's all in the bowl.
You just want it all in a bowl. Because I think the next bit you go in with your hands. Possible.
No, not yet.
Not yet. So, plain flour again. So, I can't remember how much I used of this, but make sure you put it on your scales, zero it. I think it might be 225 for flour on this.
You should know because the recipe will be in the description, so you don't need to listen to our measurements. You're just here to talk about what's going on. But yeah, so we're adding the plain flour. And this is just getting added scoop by scoop. We like to scoop things in because if you tip it from the container or tip it from the bag, it's very easy to get too much.
Yeah, you might end up with too much in there and it's hard to take it out.
You don't, once it's hit the wet ingredients, you can't really pull it out easily.
I was close.
You were going for 200 roughly, weren't you? And so we've got some bicarbonate of soda as well. This is going to help make the biscuits nice and bubbly and crunchy in the right places.
It gives it the crack in the top.
So
and gives it a little bit of air.
Those little cracks in the tops of your cookies.
Yeah,
this is what helps that happen.
Yep.
Bit of magic. It's also the same thing I put in my volcanoes when I was in primary school.
Mm-hmm. So it's 2 teaspoons of this.
You're not sure there on the video. I think we were discussing it, debating it, and you went for 3. Or were those half?
Oh no, they were half. Sorry.
So it was 2 total and a little bit.
I just went for a little bit for good luck.
So that is, follow the recipe. As you can see there, we do like to keep things interesting on Baking Club. So sometimes while we're filming, we talk about what we're going to do differently.
I think it's 1 teaspoon.
It's half a tablespoon of sea salt. Yeah, because we were talking about which one was 2 teaspoons and which one was half a teaspoon.
Ah, you remember? You played this before.
That's why it was taking so long. You couldn't remember if it was 2 teaspoons of bicarb and half of salt, or 2 teaspoons of salt and half of bicarb.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got there in the end. So we're now mixing all that in together.
So you just want to form the dough at this point.
So you're not really pressing or anything like that. You're just
No.
spinning it all around so that it starts to come together into a ball.
Yeah.
And that won't seem like it's going to happen at first, but the more you mix it, it's going to start to pull together.
It'll
and
go
get tight.
sandy. It'll look like it's too dry. You might be tempted to add some milk or add something else to just loosen it up. Please don't do that. Just let it all come together. It'll all start to come together, as you can see, because you don't want it to be too wet, because you want to be able to form it in balls. So you'll just see it starting to come together now. It's getting quite sticky again. Knock it off with your finger.
Or a teaspoon, or a knife, butter knife, or whatever.
As long as you can just get all the mixture in. And I think at this point, you're just about ready to bring in your chocolate chips.
Momentarily. This is my favourite part, is when chocolate chips start getting involved.
Oh, bit of chocolate.
And you can see there's a few little bits of flour that haven't quite mixed in. That's okay.
That's okay, because you're going to use your hands in a minute.
It's going to get formed into a proper dough, so that'll get mixed in soon enough.
Don't worry about that. You're going to add your chocolate chips in and play with it with your hands.
You just want it as mixed as you can get it.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
So here's your chocolate.
Here's your scales. Zeroed again. And here come the chocolate chips. We used milk and dark.
You can use white chocolate, or you can use Smarties if you wish.
You can even try other types of chocolates or whatever, M&Ms or something. Or
you can.
You could.
You can experiment a little bit and just you know.
I don't think I'd recommend Haribo's, but
no, don't go Haribo.
Anything chocolatey is going to be good.
So I think roughly you want 100 grams
total of chocolate.
Total of chocolate.
Right.
Don't go too much because it tends to burn if you have too much. And make sure it's good quality as well, because cheaper chocolate will burn. Tends to anyway, I've found in the past.
Okay. So just get the chocolate that you would like to eat normally. Don't use cheaper just because you're baking.
And if you're scared of that burning, it's always handy to put it in the fridge because it'll chill it. It'll stop it from burning in the oven.
We're going to do that anyway. We're going to chill the dough, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's part of the recipe.
So here now, you use your hands. Just fold in the chocolate chips.
This might seem familiar. It's a bit like what we did with the cherry scones. You're adding something to the dough and you just want to fold it around until it seems like it's evenly spread out.
Yeah, so you just want to gently incorporate them all into the nice little gaps. Make sure they're evenly spread in your dough, so you haven't got chocolate chips one end and you just got dough the other end.
That's why we're doing the folding and squeezing to make sure it's all spread out. And here's your bowl of dough. It's been in the fridge at this point. We've chilled it.
I think we chilled it for an hour. I think I actually chilled this for a little bit too long because it's a little bit too hard, as you can see. You don't want it to be that hard. If it is, you can leave it out for a little bit longer.
So if yours hasn't been in the fridge yet, pause the video now and come back when it's been in the fridge for about an hour.
Yeah.
You get your greaseproof paper and your baking trays, nice pair of scissors. If you feel safe using scissors, use them. If not, ask someone else.
So you want to use 2 baking trays to make sure that they don't come together. You want them to spread out.
You want plenty of space between the cookies.
Because they tend to melt a little bit and grow, so you don't want them
That's
to get
it.
touchy.
Done with the greaseproof paper.
That's it. Turn that over.
Now.
I think I just broke pieces off and just formed the balls with
I
it.
think you did. You could roll it out and use cookie cutters. You could cut it with a bench scraper or with a knife so it was in more even pieces. It's up to you. But as you can see here, Paul, quite confident, just breaking off little chunks, form them into a ball.
Roll them in the palm of your hand.
But you don't want to roll them too much, do you? Because you don't want to warm them up.
No, you don't want to warm them up too much. But just gently roll it in between your hands like that. You want it about just smaller than a golf ball size.
Yeah.
And then you put one there. Gently press it down. Because it'll help it to spread out evenly.
This again will look familiar from the cherry scones episode. This is what we said we could do for the cherry scones. And you'll see these are 2 different sizes here, but that doesn't really matter. The main thing that matters is there's space between the cookies.
Yeah.
If they are bigger, they might take longer to bake and they might spread out more. So just be aware of that. Try and keep them all the same size.
Try and roughly get them about the same size. I know it's hard to do sometimes.
When they're the same size, they cook at the same speed.
Yeah.
That's the thing, so it makes it much easier.
If you
have different sizes, you might have some that aren't cooked.
Well, you'll end up with some that are raw.
That are burnt. You don't want that.
No. But just repeat it. I think you get 12 out of this recipe. 12 nice sized cookies. So just repeat and repeat
until you've filled all the baking trays.
Roly poly.
There we go. Roly poly, picking a pokey. You can have that one. You can keep hold of it.
I mean, I remember tasting these cookies, and I just enjoyed them so much. They were so delicious. I really can't recommend them enough to everyone.
I've got to say, this is one of the best cookie recipes I've ever found.
Yeah, it's
I mean, I've
absolutely
researched
spot on.
a few, but this is a really good recipe. And it actually works really well with cranberries and white chocolate. I think that's the original recipe. I adapted it to this.
So,
to double chocolate, because a lot of people don't like cranberries.
if I was going to do cranberries and white chocolate, how would I do that?
So you just replace the 100 grams. So you'd use 50 grams of cranberries and 50 grams of white chocolate.
Okay, so just
Yeah.
at that point, if I want to make different cookies, whatever I'm adding, that's when I add
Yeah,
it.
just add 100 grams of whatever you fancy. You know, whether it be raisins, nuts. You could add macadamia nuts.
That'd be cool.
And again, you know, white chocolate and macadamia. It's a really good combination.
So you can really make it your own at that point.
You can add some different flavourings as well. You could add some mint to it.
Use what's in the cupboard. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Looks like
Experiment,
you're happy.
play
You're
with
ready
it.
to head over to the oven, aren't you?
We certainly are. They're all done.
Here we go. Look at them. Pretty little cookies. Ready to roll into the oven. The oven's already preheated, as you
It
said at
is.
the beginning.
To, I think, 180, I think it was.
Here we go.
So again, if you're baking in a conventional oven, put it in the middle. I always go middle anyway. In a fan assisted, it doesn't really matter. Give them a little
See you
wave
later,
for good luck.
cookies. Here they are, and they're about to magically cook, but it should take about 20 minutes, I think it is.
Yeah. So they will puff up, but as they cool, they tend to drop.
They look beautiful to
They
me.
do. And as you can see, there's a nice little crack along the top.
The thing I liked about these, because of the size we went for in the recipe, they're nice and gooey in the middle, and they've still got a crunch on the outside. You can actually see the different colour. They are
Crunchy
cooked all the way
gooey.
through, but they've just got the best of both worlds there.
Yeah. And they will be softer first.
So make sure
Just
you've got
gently take them off
you need a fish slice or something to
Fish
support
slice.
them, otherwise they're going to break.
and then put them in a cooling rack.
Yeah.
You can leave them on a tray. That wouldn't make a massive difference. I just like using a cooling rack because it helps them to cool down quicker.
Yeah. So if you're not very patient, use a cooling rack. If
Yeah.
you've got time to wait, you can just leave them on the tray. And here they are. Look at that.
As you
That
can see, they're
amazing
flattened down as
close-up.
well.
That amazing close up. Yeah. The puff that we saw as they freshly came out of the oven is gone. They're nice and flat.
Beautiful cookies.
Crackly, crunchy, gooey, chewy. Oh my goodness.
They were so good.
What a fantastic day. And there you go. That was Baking with Paul and with voiceover from Paul and Jack.
And we were making cookies today.
were
Thank
making
you for
cookies.
joining us.
We'll see you on the next recipe. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye bye.